first event. Thank you so much for joining. Share my screen. So this is our first event for Atlassian Community event. Haider, can you please confirm I'm audible? Thank you. Thank you. So we are deeping dive into the Jira thing for this event, and one of the most powerful tool in project management and project management as well. So this event is designed to connect Atlassian users also with other, let's say, product managers, designers, and quick learners as well. Share best practices and how we can explore the Jira leverage. Right. So the Atlassian community brings together professionals from around the world. So basically, we are connecting all the users of Jira and in terms of Atlassian, all these products. So we are also making the communities over there, let's say in WhatsApp or some other social media platforms. So if you guys have any problem related to these software, so our professionals can help you. And for this event, we have invited our speaker who are the industry leaders and best professionals for using these softwares. So he can help out to you as well, and they can share their experience as well. These are our speakers, Mr. Virpal Singh, who is the CEO of Digital, which is Sweden-based company. And then we have Naima, which is a product manager in a stealth startup. And then we have Haider Iftikhar. He's a TPM technical product manager in 31 Green, and we have Aswan is a project manager. So and I'm excited to share that we have been collaborated with Friends of Egma Lahore for the outreach program, and then we have been collaborated with Agile Pakistan in the outreach program. So thank you so much for these as well. So this is a short introduction of the Atlassian community. I would like to hand over the stage to Aswan now. So Asad, you can share your screen. Start, please.
Assalamu alaikum ji. Thank you very much, Hussain. Let me share my screen. Not gonna take much time of you gentlemen, but I'll make it quick. Just a second here. Alrighty. So my major talk is all about having workflows, since we all know that Jira is really powerful in providing customized workflows. So my talk is majorly going to be about how would you use such customizations to power up your productivity, to increase your productivity and lift up your outcome time. That's the major thing that I'm going to talking about. Plus, on the other side, another big thing that we have is the ecosystem that is provided by Jira Atlassian. So that's the other part that I'll be covering up in my talk. Something about my introduction, starting with that. This is my 12th year in the industry, starting back in 2012, and since then I've been with multinational organizations in Pakistan, working overseas for the European companies and for the US organizations as well. Atlassian, I'm certified on Atlassian as well as an workflow manager. Plus, I'm certified on Confluence. So these are some certifications that I have on Atlassian. Apart from that, some certifications that I have on the Agile side. I'm certified Agile coach, I'm certified Agile product owner, and I'm also certified Agile Scrum Master. That's a bit about my introduction. Moving forward on the talk that I have, first thing that comes in our mind is, why would we be choosing Jira? Why? Every organization that's new in the market and they want to start up, either that's a startup or an organization that's transitioning towards becoming an IT-based organization, they always have this question: what tools shall we opt to manage our projects? And what makes Jira stand out? All of other tools that we have. These are the points that comes in my mind. That starts with the deep customizability. You can literally tailor your workflows, you can have your issue types customized, you can provide custom screens to every issue type that you create, you can do n numbers of automation with your ticketing system, with your integration with the build system that you're using, with the design system that you're using. So it's completely automated. It provides you such an ability to automate with whatever tool that you're using nowadays for the product development and for project development as well. So that's the core power of Jira. Moving forward, the ecosystem and integrations. It has a huge marketplace where everybody, every Jira and Atlassian community members is participating. They're putting their efforts into it. They are creating plugins that could help you manage your timesheets, that could help you manage your team's velocity, your burn down. You got a lot of plugins that could help you basically analyze your team's progress. So that's the biggest power of Jira that I'm seeing here. Confluence, Slack, GitHub. I don't have to talk about those. This is a package that comes in with everything that needs to have needs to be in the organization. Agile and dev team alignment. So when we talk about agile, it's normally something that we always hear in the industry and in the market, that if you're an agile based organization, or if you're an organization that's running on agile, you should be using Jira. Why is that? Because agile is all about being flexible, being adaptive, and that's what Jira is. It's flexible enough that you could integrate, you could customize up to your needs. Whatever your need is, it's easily flexible to provide you that support that is needed. You can manage your Scrum, Kanban boards. You can create roadmaps. You have your dev tools integrations that can easily be integrated with your Jira application, either you're using cloud or the desktop application. It's easy for you to manage that, especially for the project managers. Those are managing multiple projects or even one. It's very easy for them to manage those boards, and have a roadmap visibility to see executives that this is where we stand, this is how the future looks like, these are the impediments we may have, risks, how to mitigate that, all of it under one umbrella. Enterprise grade controls. So you got a lot, not just the project management side, but on the audit side, you've got reportings, you got audit logs, you have the system which is scalable. Means you can take it to a cloud level where you don't have to manage anything. It's being managed on the cloud side. Support for multiple use cases. Like I said, it's not just for the IT industry, it's for any industry that needs to be more agile, an industry that want to be flexible enough to address their customer needs. So this is a platform that can be used for that. So that makes Jira stand out, guys. That's my finding. We have other presenters to talk more about this, but this is what I've got. uh, Moving forward, so why tool compatibility matters. We all know that since the COVID, before COVID, it was a different culture. Every organization had a different culture, but when COVID was there, and even after COVID, we realized that it doesn't matter wherever you're working from. It What matters is that you're outcome based. You're providing the work that needs to be done. So for being that productive, you need to have that support from the infrastructure or from that organization that you're working for. So what these tools helps you is that it actually kills the silos that you have among the teams. You have a streamlined workflow that helps you understand, okay, I got to work on this today. It needs to go to dev, this needs to go to QA. Once that's done, it needs to go to UAT, and that's it. That's where my job is done. I'm gonna go pick another thing for today then, if I have time. So it kills that communication barrier that occurs. It kills that siloness between the team members. I'm working on this. You have that one window solution for everything. One ticket, you have all the comments log on that ticket. You have the Figma files or the design system attached to that ticket. It's taking you to the design system, bringing you back to the project management tool where you're managing your work log. It's helping you manage your timesheets and all. So that's why these compatibilities matters a lot. Communication integrations. Best package that we get with Jira is the best bucket that I get with Jira is having Jira as a project management tool, have it integrated with Bitbucket, and have a Slack that is used for communication. So we use Slack on a very vast level. We have our build system attached with Slack. Every time a build goes in, every time even if a developer raises a PR, we got a alert on Slack. So this automation is so beautiful that it helps you stay aligned, it helps you stay organized, it helps you stay focused, and it makes you proactive as well. So these are some key points that communication integrations provides you. It gets you integrated with Microsoft Teams as well, where you have different threads for different discussions. So you have a module, you have all together a different thread maintaining all the discussions you get related to that modules. You create issues, you get updates on that. You use Slack for or Microsoft Teams for whatever communication that is needed to get the things done. Developer tool integration, like I said, code commits, track changes in Jira. You can simply track changes in Jira. It gives you the possibility or it gives you the feasibility, and it gives you the opportunity to track your changes. It gives you the view and the you can say it gives you that all what you need to understand where a commit stands right this moment. It gives you the opportunity to connect with your branching structure. So if whatever branching structure that you are using, you can connect it with Jira, and then you're just a click away to make a commit. Pull request, you can simply make a pull request using Jira, staying from Jira. You don't have to go to your IDE or wherever else. Just one click and your pull request is done. Design and collaboration tools. As a project manager or product managers, the biggest fear that we have is disconnect between the engineering team and the product team. So product asks you to create an apple or design an apple. What you created is a peach. So that disconnect kills you so badly that you have to have that synchronization between the product team or the design team that's designing the whole product and the engineering team that's engineering that product. So Jira gives you this platform where you integrate with your design system, either it's Miro or it's Figma. It gets integrated so beautifully that you don't have to switch between places. So consider it this way, that I'm working on a ticket and I've some comments to make on that ticket. So what I'm gonna do is that I've got the Figma link attached to that ticket. I got on to Figma, and that's where I have every log, every communication related to that design. What was the thought process? So designer have his comments on it, the PM got his comments on it. Now I can see, okay, this design is here for what purpose and what is the need here. I can click on the prototypes that can be done on Figma. I can play with the system to get an understanding that, okay, this is how I need to engineer it. So that's how close the collaboration is, and that's how the integration is with Figma and Miro, whatever the tool that you're using for the design systems. Customer support and CRM, that's another beauty of Jira, that it helps you basically integrate with the CRMs that provides you the visibility of your customer insights. Either you want to look for your leads, you can simply integrate with Jira, and you can have you can say a sidebar that provides you the visibility of your leads. And then there is this two-way syncing. You don't have to be worried about synchronization between both of your tools. Those are integrated. And then there is this ticket conversion system. You don't have to go create a ticket in one system, and then come to Jira, create another ticket internally for that same ticket that you created on a operations platform maybe. So there is this connectivity between these tools, that either way if you created your ticket on the support system, it automatically syncs it and integrates it with your Jira software that helps you keep organized. Automation and marketplace add-ons. Like I said, I started earlier with this. It has a very big marketplace where you have a lot of add-ons, plugins that helps you stay focused. And that's another beauty of Jira. I mean, I myself is using four plugins that gives me the high level visibility of my team, that what's the current progress, who's doing what is the current velocity of this person, and especially on the historical analysis, the historical analytics, that is very important for you to make decisions for the future. That is a big win for us as a project manager and program managers, to understand that, okay, that's how the team's velocity looks like, and on the basis of this, we can say that, okay, we can do this much of work for in this much of time. Similarly, uh integrations with other amazing tools like Zapier's, uh, script runner, some other tools. It is a beautiful place where you can find any. I mean, I'm sure if you have a problem or if you're facing a problem in Jira, if there is a business need that you need to address, just go to this marketplace and you would definitely get some solution. Otherwise, what you'd get is the support from the community. You got amazing guys there who would give you ideas that could basically help you fix that problem for you. So that's it. Last thing that I would like to cover is some real world use cases that Jira solves. So dev plus support collaboration means tickets automatically creates issues. You got a ticketing system that is being taken care by your support team. And there is this level one support who has created a ticket and they have provided the support, but that needs to be gone to level 2 or level 3. Now they don't have to come to Jira and create another ticket and then assign it to a respective developer. What they need to do is that is simply when the moment they log a ticket in their ticketing system, it will be integrated with Jira. It automatically creates an issue for that specific problem. I mean, you can mold your workflow accordingly to that, and then that tickets gets assigned to a developer, and then that dev team can basically respond to that ticket and make sure that it's effective and proactively handled. Sales plus product sync. You have your customer request feed backlog. Whatever the feedback that you're getting from your customers, so consider that you have a in-product feedback mechanism. So that in-product feedback mechanism provides you the ability to provide the feedback about the product that you're using. You're feeding in the product. Now there is no Excel sheet or anything where that feedback is getting dumped. It's all together going into your project management tool Jira, where you have it dumped in your backlog. And now on the basis of the feedback, you review the feedback as a backlog item, and you see, okay, either I want to respond to this. Is it a change request? Is it a good add-on in my product? Or maybe I just have to go back to that customer and tell him that, okay, you were facing this issue because of this thing. Maybe there was this understanding gap between that customer and the product. Maybe the experience was not correct or that good, that the customer was having difficulty in using the system. Likewise, Bitbucket plus Slack. This is an amazing combination, guys. Bitbucket or GitHub connecting with Slack makes the dev's life easier. You make a commit, you get an update on Slack. Commit gets rejected, you get a Slack request. Your peer review got approved, you get a Slack alert. I'm sorry. Likewise, until your piece of code is merged, you would get an alert making you sure that it's done, it's deployed, your job is done. So that's it. Best practices for seamless integration aligned with goals. It lets you choose the tool that supports your core objective. It limits the redundancy. Security first. First of all, you don't have to be worried about your permission issues and all of that. The tool is going to be taking care of it. And on the very high level for the leadership positions and the C executives, the Jira platform, it provides you an amazing opportunity to create a dashboard for all level of executives. You can simply present them with the information that you want to present them to. So that's another beautiful thing about Jira is. With that, thank you very much, and I'm open for any questions if there is. Alrighty, I'll take that as a no. Thank you very much. I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll give it back to you, Hussein.
Who's a product manager in a stealth startup. So, Naima, please take the lead.
Hello, Assalamualaikum everyone. Am I audible fine?
Yep, you're audible.
Perfect. I'm going to share my screen and then I'm going to do the intros. Just let me know when you guys can see it.
Yes, possible.
See your screen.
Perfect. All right, let's be honest. Before structure, there's often chaos. And as product managers and designers, we've all been in situations where we're constantly shifting priorities, there's lack of visibility, and there's unclear ownership. All of this chaos eats into creativity, execution, and the overall team morale. This is exactly why I'm here today, to shed some light on how project management brings clarity leveraging great collaborative tools like Jira. My name is Naima Salman, and I am a product manager at a Saudi startup called Bricks. I'm going to start off with something that we can all relate to. All of us must have had this feeling of felt this feeling of sitting close to a generator at some point in our lives. वो शोर एक टाइम बाद हमें used to कर देता है, but when it shuts down, एक सुकून मिलता है. Honestly, as a professional, tools like Jira do exactly that. They eliminate all of the extra noise. Let me paint a picture, right? So why project management matters? There's this thing that we often hear from our team members, our seniors, our juniors. We thought we were aligned until everything slipped. Painting a picture, imagine you're in a sprint planning meeting. There are 3 different tools open. One designer is working from a Figma file. The developers are referencing GitHub. Maybe the project managers are working from a spreadsheet. Someone asks, wait, did we scope this properly? And no one really knows the answer to that because nobody has that one source of truth joining all of these departments together. That's the chaos. That's exactly where the pain starts. Jira helps us centralize, prioritize, and make things visible. It's not just a task board, it's the foundation for clarity. Feel free to drop in some of the biggest project headaches you've encountered recently in the chat, please. I want to make this interactive. I know this is virtual, but even then, any project management issue that you've recently faced with your team, maybe.
I would go, Naima. The challenge that I face is that I was not clear about this requirement. I did not know this needs to be done.
Thank you for that. All right, we're getting some of the responses, not getting approvals for field work, rapid requirement changes, design, dev, handoff. All right, these pain points are exactly what Jira is designed to address. Naveed Ramzan, I think, is my screen getting changed? I just saw your comment. Hussain, is it working fine? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you for sharing. And we're going to take these problems as the basis of our entire storyline now. Let's zoom in on the day-to-day reality for many teams today. Everyone's using the best-in-class tools. Designers are using Figma. We're using Docs for notes. GitHub is being used for code. Spreadsheet maybe for roadmaps, Convo, Coda, Slack for updates, but the entire workflow is completely disconnected. Designers often hand off in the Slack threads. Developers are searching for tickets that match pull requests. PMs are asked for status updates they just gave yesterday. As a product manager myself, I often face this pretty frequently, where we're constantly asked from the business side to give us product updates that are very clear, that are changing every day, and they want constant reflection for that. Context overall is scattered. Ownership is blurry, and priorities shift without visibility. This is exactly what I call the multi-tool mess. We have great tools, but no integration, no alignment. Jira doesn't replace your tools. You're still going to be using Figma for design. You're still going to be using GitHub for codes. What it does is it connects them. It creates a unified surface where work becomes trackable, visible, and shared. Let's break down what good project management is. So we started off with understanding the need for project management and how Jira incorporates onto that. We then went on to people and the problems they face in this industry. Now let's dig deeper into what good project management actually looks like. For both product design teams, I personally have 3 principles that always come up and work for me. Number 1, being clear scope and objectives. If we don't know the why behind what we're building, we're never going to be able to provide a viable solution. We're going to waste time. Jira helps with this by linking epics, user stories, and business goals. The second being agile planning and prioritization. We are not in a waterfall world, right? Requirements are constantly changing. In fact, our stakeholders are changing as well. Jira supports the agile ways of working. Backlog grooming, sprints, and story points all together let us stay way more flexible throughout the process. And all of us would be able to relate nothing's the same as what it is at the start. Everything keeps on changing. Without being adaptable, without being flexible, our softwares, our platforms, we're nothing at the end of the day. The third and the last being transparent collaboration. This is huge for managers, designers, everybody who's working throughout. Jira's boards, comments, integrations mean we can see dependencies, blockers, and who's doing what in real time. I was actually a product designer before becoming a product manager, and I remember the day when we transitioned onto Figma and slowly we started getting real-time updates with different design team members. That was a game changer altogether for everyone to be on the same page, working in real time, providing comments and feedback in real time. At one point, my design team had a new UI flow ready, but did not realize that the devs were working from an outdated spec. Why? The tools were disconnected. With Jira tied into Figma, Confluence, and Slack today, that scenario never happened again. When these three elements are strong, our projects run way more smoother, and Jira makes that strength possible. Now we've discussed the overall project management and the best practices tools. I'm going to shed some light on my life cycle and how I go around it. Think about the life cycle of your last product or feature. There's always a journey there. From raw idea to measurable outcome, Jira supports every part of that journey. Let's start off with the discovery phase, where we're capturing ideas, researching, interviews are happening, different hypotheses are being created. In Jira, you can log everything from notes to customer feedback as issues or tickets. Subsequently, moving on to the planning phase. As a manager, I'm able to break down epics into stories, estimate my work, prioritize using the backlog views and sprint planning tools. It all feels very natural in Jira. You start by creating epics that hold all the related stories and tasks, and with a simple click, you can expand each epic and view the nested work. The third being building. So now you've discovered whatever problem statement you've gotten, Jira incorporates that. You plan how you want to break this down further. That's where Jira comes in terms of making the user experience easy. The third being build. This is where the devs and designers are in the weeds. Our boards show real-time progress. You can track exactly who's working on what and where things are blocked. And naturally, as managers, all of us must have scrums or stand-up meetings every day where we're using Jira as a source of truth for the progress of that build throughout the journey as well. Moving on to the delivery phase. So now you've built it, you move on to the delivery phase where you're tracking the versions and releases. As a PM myself, one great thing that I get help from Jira is where Jira lets you tag work by release versions. I know exactly what's shipped, what's left, how I need to plan my R2. Lastly, once you've delivered, that's not where it ends. We need to reflect. Agile teams do retros. Jira has built-in reports and velocity charts, so we can see exactly what worked and what didn't in the last cycle. Coming back to the point that I initially mentioned, and as the presenter mentioned before me as well, this isn't just a tool for execution. It's a platform that captures the full product development lifecycle end to end. I'm going to drop a quick poll now. Which of these phases is the most challenging for your team right now? Discover, plan, build, deliver, or reflect. Just write the phase in the chat, please. All right, so we have deliver, cost of tracking. Everyone, please. A lot of delivers. All right, coming back, thank you for sharing that with me. I wanted to be as interactive as possible considering this is virtual, but great input. This helps frame how Jira can meet your team where you are. And specifically, shedding some light a bit more on deliver, because a lot of people mentioned that. In the delivery phase, the tracking version and the releases, as a manager myself, in a lot of cases, what used to happen prior to Jira was that we had the first release go out, but planning the R2 amidst the next things that were planned on the roadmap was a huge hassle altogether. So Jira helped me keep track of what exactly was delivered, what versions were delivered, what versions need to be communicated, and how I need to plan furthermore. All right. When I say Jira is a team enabler, I mean, as simply as I can put it, it removes ambiguity. Think about a well aligned team. The PMs are prioritizing work based on real time data. Designers aren't blocked, devs are shipping with confidence. I know it seems like an ideal world, but in Jira, PMs can quickly reassign priorities. Designers can comment on tasks, devs can link PRs to tickets. Everyone is looking at the same source of truth. Coming back to the second presentation slide I was mentioning this on, having the same source of truth. So on your screen as well, you might be saying, I know what to work on next. This is something which would be an ideal thing for our team to say as a manager. I can see what design is blocked. The design is taking the initiative with regards to whatever's been blocked to make sure that the devs are not wasting any time. The scope was clearly communicated. Naturally, mentioning as we're an agile team, the scope definitely alters throughout the development process as well. That being reflected and having the same source of truth helps everyone be connected. Jira plays well with others naturally. You can link your Figma files, embed the Confluence docs, set Slack alerts, and automate repetitive actions. For example, when a designer marks a certain task for ready for dev, it automatically moves that in the Jira board. I know it might look like a very, very trivial task, but that itself, in the grand scheme of things, saves time and friction altogether. This collaboration on this level is what really scales. It's not about doing the work, it's about seeing the system, adapting together, and delivering better outcomes. Again, use the reaction emojis, please. A thumbs up if you've ever had a blocker resolved thanks to a shared tool. It could be any other tool like Jira. A heart emoji if you've been part of a great cross functional flow recently. And if not, feel free to write not yet. We've all been there. All right. Thank you. Now, to summarize things up, we talked about the need for Jira and tools like Jira in the entire project management lifecycle, the chaos of the multi-tool mess, the best practices for PMs and design teams, my personal product journey in Jira, how Jira is a team enabler, and lastly, we're going to we're going to bring it all home. We've covered a lot: chaos to clarity, lifecycle management, collaboration. Bringing it home, let's turn the focus back to you. Think about your team's workflows. Where does the friction happen? Is it handoff between design and dev? Is it knowing what's really ready to ship? Maybe it's tracking feedback after launch. Personally, tracking feedback after launch was a great pain point that I had to face myself. A lot of things used to go, and working in a startup especially, you're very short on hands. All hands are on deck. You're constantly wearing a lot of hats. Every time a new feature went live, it was very hard to get the proper feedback consistently for a certain amount, use that feedback, and actually make that actionable in the next few cycles we had. Imagine visualizing that process inside Jira. Imagine an ideal process that you would want tools like Jira to incorporate at. Imagine seeing every part of it clearly connected and automated. That's what platforms like Jira make possible. Jira isn't about task tracking, it's mostly about transforming how we work across disciplines, across tools, whether that be Figma, whether that be any doc designs, whether that be anything spreadsheets, slides, anything at all. The real question at the end of the day is, what does your ideal process look like? And how can tools like Jira help you get there? Jira personally for me has always been set aside, set apart in terms of its class because of the user experience it has. Regardless of what stage of product development you're at, the user experience is a huge part, and especially because I transitioned from a product designer to a product manager, user experience, I'm big on that, I've always been. I can personally vouch for that, but always think about Jira, about tools like this. Always think how your ideal process can be incorporated onto such things. With that, thanks so much for spending time with me today. I hope I was able to give you fresh ideas on how to bring more clarity throughout the product development phase. Let's keep building better together. And I'm going to pause for any Q&As now. Any questions, guys? You can write them on the chat. How do you compare Jira to other tools? All right. We do have other tools like Linear as well, Jira, that sort of provide this competition. But overall, in terms of comparison, we can always look at other project management tools that are there in line in the world. So I would always say you can always compare features. So there are other tools like Linear that provide the capability for managers to have epics, divide down user stories, provide actionable one source of truth to all of the departments. There's capability for a lot of people to actually incorporate different things onto platforms like these, because this is something that's a game changer for project managers. But overall, for me personally, I would say it sets apart, as I mentioned previously, due to its user experience. Does that answer your question, Rabia? Great delivery and presentation. Wanted to ask you your personal favorite tools, features of Jira. For me personally, it's the capability to incorporate feedback from people. So recently what we've started to do is, my entire team mainly works on Slack. And we used to have different team members come onto a channel that we had on Slack for tech support. People used to come there and add in whatever problems they were facing on the platform itself. We sort of incorporated that on Jira in a way where they fill a form, and on Jira automatically that creates a ticket based on the priority the target audience has defined while reporting the issue itself. What this does is this gives clarity and discrepancy to directly our coders, our developers who's going to be working on this certain issue, prioritize it accordingly, saving a lot of time and friction in between. Thank you, Muhammad Ali. How did you deal with feedback before launch, which would lead changes again? How is Jira better than ClickUp? All right. So for your first question, before launch feedback, naturally as a product manager, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna give you an answer using a recent example that I've had. I was in Saudi and I was sort of testing a new feature that had to go live. There was a lot of feedback that we were getting. And for the most part, when you're talking with people, especially when it's product, personally, I feel like you can't have a laptop beside you. You can't constantly be adding things beside you while you're talking to the other person. It lacks that personal connection, and people would not really be very comfortable talking to you or giving you feedback with that sort of disinterested aspect. What I usually do is, prior to the launch, we go to the target audience, whoever the problem statements of the people that we've actually worked for. We take the first phase to the target audience. we review their feedback, and all of that process, that's sort of between the product manager and the target audience to begin with. How I translate that onto the board itself with Jira and how Jira comes to play is once I come back, I review the priority because naturally, as a manager, you don't sort of build every feedback that you get. You need to validate, you need to review the impact, and once you've done that, the discovery part is done. That's when it actually moves on to Jira. How is Jira better than ClickUp? For me personally, it's the user experience. As I say, ClickUp does not really has this capability to automatically add in tickets. That for me was a game changer myself, especially because I work with a team which is mainly Arabic speaking. And when there's a lot of people in between communicating exactly what's required, there's a lot of things that are lost in translation. Chinese was well. So for me, that particular incentive itself was a game changer. Can we add a Jira status between in progress and blocked called mentally scoping, mentally processing scope changes? That's actually a very good feedback, but something that I won't be able to help you, but people might definitely, like from the team itself. I think it's a great feedback because naturally, the more you use it, that's answer. You're welcome. But naturally, the more you use it, I think if you were actually giving them the feedback, and Hussain would be able to better comment on that, considering he represents Jira accordingly. Considering you talked about Jira's experience, what are some of the improvements you would propose? I think in terms of one thing that personally I would be adding is because every time I'm sort of making an update spreadsheet, what I do is I make in my own statuses. So something that Tayyab also mentioned, adding on to that for me, there should be a status after things have been completed because once things are completed, they actually are ready for dev altogether, right? For me personally, a product manager or the target audience, a product manager should review the completed end phase with maybe like through beta testing with the target audience in actuality. And after reviewing that, and that could be like a pending approval state from the target audience of sorts. Once we've done that, we can actually incorporate that. And then after that, once that step is passed, that's when we actually mark it as complete or ready for release. It could be either of the two. But I think that's a certain status in between that I would love to have. Does that answer your question, Zen? Any other questions, guys? All right. Thank you so much. Over to you, Hussain.
Thank you so much, Naima, for sharing the best approaches and your experiences in the field and the journey of your transition from product designer to the product manager. It was very helpful.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Now I would like to give the stage to Haider Iftikhar, who is a technical program manager in 31 Green. Haider, take the lead, please.
Thank you, Hussain. Am I audible?
Yes,
All
sure.
right. And let me share my screen. Um, Let me know when you guys are able to see my screen.
Yes, visible.
All right. Thank you, Hussain, for inviting me. So I'll start and take much time. So hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today. Today we're going to talk how you can shape Jira around your company's unique needs, how you can mold or configure Jira as per your team needs, and whether you're just starting with Jira or you're looking to improve what you already have. I'm hoping this session will give you enough practical guidance so that it covers both these scenarios. So before starting off, let me quickly give my introduction. As I mentioned, I'm working as a technical project manager at 31 Green. I have around 8 years of industry experience. I worked in healthcare, worked with automotive industry and energy industry as well. And I've been working with Jira for almost 6 years now. And trust me, no other tool right now in the market can take Jira's place that it has right now. So moving forward, let's discuss the agenda of today's presentation. So firstly, we'll see why Jira even needs customization, and then how to understand what your company actually needs from Jira, and we'll talk about the different project types Jira offers, how to set up workflows, boards, and permissions, and gonna give you a demo as well on most of this stuff as well. And we'll touch base some automation and integration stuff that has been already covered, but I'm going to briefly show you how it can be managed in Jira, and then we're going to wrap it up with some best practices and some common mistakes that you should avoid. And finally, we'll leave some time for question and answers as well. So, all right, why do we need to customize Jira? So by default, Jira is very plain. Most of you have logged in for the Jira for the first time. You'll see that it's pretty basic. Let's be honest. So, but most teams have their own way of doing things, their own way of working from previous experiences, especially when you have specific needs, reporting needs, or you have some compliance requirements. So that's why it's very important that you customize Jira so you can improve your team ownership, you can reduce confusion among your teams, and at the end, it saves you a lot of time, trust me. And the goal is to let Jira fit your way of working rather than forcing your team to adapt to Jira's default. So that's where it's really important that you can configure or customize Jira as per your needs and not the other way around. So before setting anything up, it's really important to understand the basic needs of how your teams work, how your company work, how your organization works. So the first question, are they using Scrum, Kanban, or a mixed setup? Are they a cross-functional team or working separately like a dev-only board, a QA-only board? What kind of reports or matrices are important to the team, to the management? And also, it's important to think about any compliance standards that you have to follow with Jira. And finally, what other tools you need to connect with Jira, as Hussain mentioned earlier as well. You can integrate several other tools, and I mentioned as well Slack, Bitbucket, GitHub, several other tools that you can connect. So it all depends on understanding the needs of the company, of the organization, of your team specifically. So let's start by choosing the right project type. So you have logged into Jira and you have to create a project. So Jira project first is a team managed project, is a company managed project. So team managed projects are simpler and they're good for smaller teams that work mainly independently. And these projects, they let, so basically the team can be the admin of the project, can configure, change everything on their own. So they don't need to bother admin to configure everything in a team managed project. While on the other hand, company managed projects, they're more structured and they give you more control of the features, the configurations, and they work best for large teams that need consistency, or organizations that prefer having company-wide standards. So it's the best option for the company managed project for those organizations. And one really important thing is that company managed project for way more features and reports as compared to our managed project. I faced this personally in my current job as well. So the project that I took up initially, it was a team managed project, and there were very less features on it. Migrate the entire project from a team managed to a company managed project. It was a bit of a hassle, but we do that, and now we're pretty happy with the company managed project that we've got set up. That are the two basic issue types that Jira offers. So it's up to you, as I mentioned earlier, to understand the needs of your organization, of your team, and depending on that, you have to select which type of project you want. I personally just prefer using company managed project. It's a bit difficult to set up or configure, but at the end, it provides more configuration and more features around it. So I can quickly give you an example as well. Let me show you. So this right now, can you see my Jira screen, guys?
Yep, we see it.
Perfect. So this right now that you see over here is a sandbox project that I've created in 31 Green, so that anyone wants to learn or navigate around Jira, or learn how to create a ticket or play around basically anything in a project that they cannot do in their proper. They can come here and navigate around, play around, and see experience what Jira offers. So this over here is a company managed project over here. So we've got the backlog, we've got the navigation bar here and stuff like that. So we go through the boards, the board as well. So this is the board, the active sprint board over here. So I've set up a Scrum board. You have an option to set up a Kanban board as well. So just giving you an example. So moving forward, as I said, Jira doesn't have to be only used for software development projects. It can be used for, let's say, project roadmaps, for sales pipeline. So you on the screen you'll see an active project roadmap. So this basically is used for all the project managers here at 31 Green, and all the projects that we right now can be seen on a single board in Jira. Really helps the management to keep a track on what the status of each of the project is, and if any escalation or any assistance is needed, they can just go into this project and see whatever the status of each of the project is. They don't have to set up meetings or anything. Getting status updates of the projects can be mentioned in these Jira card comments, so that management has an idea of a bigger picture around the projects in the company. Another example that I mentioned of a sales pipeline. So here gives you. So I've removed the names of the projects, so you have to bear with that. But this sales pipeline serves the purpose of basically helping or helps you keep organized in the sales, keep a track of all the projects that are in the sales pipeline. And it's very easy for the management here as well to see what the status of each of the project is, what the status of each lead is. And once the project is signed, it automatically goes into this project roadmap, and a project manager is assigned to that project, and that's how we move forward. So coming next, so once you figured your projects, now you can figure your issue types and workflows. As I mentioned, Jira offers ton of flexibility, ton of configurations. So it's so flexible that you can mold it as per your needs. You can flex as per your needs. So Jira by default offers a bunch of issue types such as epics and user stories, but on the other hand, your own custom issue types as well. Let me quickly show you some of the issue types that I have created for my project. So you can see change requests, you can see improvement. So these two are the custom issue types that I've created for the entire 31 company, and they can be used in any of the projects. So right now, we use improvements for features that were delivered, but if there's anything that client thinks it needs to be improved but scope, so we mark it as an improvement. So let's say if we need to filter out all the issues that were improvements, it's quite easy to filter it out using this custom issue type. Same goes for the change request as well. So if there's a request from the customer that wasn't part of the initial scope, and we can mark it as change request, that will basically assist in keeping a track of all the change requests that were in the project. This you can customize or create as many issue types as you want. Keeping in mind, you don't want to go overhead and create like hundreds of them. Just create the ones that you need. Furthermore, you can customize the fields that you need in those issue types as well. For example, let me quickly show you. So this acceptance criteria is a custom. Initially, there was only a description, but we decided to have an acceptance criteria field as well. And likewise, you can create multiple customers you need and a requirement, and it really helps you in keeping things. But next is match workflows to real setup, your real steps your team follows. So this is my favorite feature of Jira, is customizing workflows, and I really like messing around with workflows, tweaking them here and there to best fit the needs of the team or needs of the organization. I'm quickly going to show you a workflow as well that 31 Green. It's a totally customized workflow, and you can create your own workflow like that. customize it as per you need. So let's shoot where did yeah. So this on the screen uses is software development workflow that we use at 31 Green. I know it looks messy, but when you map it to the columns on the board, it really makes sense. And I'm going to show you and give you an example. So all these arrows depict that an issue can only go from to do to in progress or block or stuff like that. So a quick example. So we have a ticket or task or an issue, let's say in the to do column, and I can only move it to the block or in progress. I cannot move it to any other columns over here. If it's moved into in progress, I cannot move it to, let's say, ready for testing and testing or done. It either goes into blocked or it goes into in review. Once it's in review, either can or back in progress, or it can, depending on if it's a non-technical task. If it's moved to ready to test testing, it can only go into testing for the QA team to help them keep a track on the tickets they need to test. And once the ticket is in testing, if the testing is done fully and all the requirements and acceptance criteria, the QA team either moves the ticket to done, blocked, testing, depending on what the state of the testing was. So this really helps you in like mirroring real life successes, like if something needs approval or testing build that can be matched into the workflow. And furthermore, you can add rules for approvals, testing, etc. Like only QAs or testers can move their tickets to done. Developers can only move their tickets to review, stuff like that. All of this configuration customization is available in Jira. Next, we have boards, filters, and permissions. So boards help you visualize work, and it want it a bit different. You have seen like the columns over here might not be the ones that you face or you use in your office or work. It's all what you need. So all of this is customizable. You say you can have 5 columns, 6 columns, 4 columns, as many or as less, depending on what your requirement is. Next, you can use filters. So filters are great for personal dashboards or for leadership view. So you can create filters, use them in your dashboards, and management can look at a dashboard to get a bigger picture of how things are. Next, we've got permissions. So are different part of Jira. So it helps you. Let's say it's very important, especially if you want to deal or you have to deal with everyone to be looking into a certain project that they don't have to. So let me quickly show you how permissions work as well. So yeah, so over here I have permission schemes. So if you quickly, so you don't have to remember everything. It's all available. You can reach out to me after this as well. Can assist you in that. So over here you can see all the permissions that are available. And for example, let's quickly look into this. So manage sprints. So this permission only project roles of admins, team leads, and these two groups have the permission to manage sprints. So right now in our project, in our organization, developers, QA team, designers, they cannot manage sprints. By manage sprints, I mean they cannot start the sprint, they cannot edit the sprint, they cannot close the sprints. Only the project manager, team leads, or individuals that are part of these groups, project groups, manage the sprints. Same like that, there are permissions that schemes that you can manage, and depending on the project roles you have, the projects you have, you can customize that as per your requirement. So next is the automation integrations. As one majorly covered the integrations part, so I'm not going to go much into detail. But let's just quickly, Jira has built-in automation, so you can create rules like if no one has updated a ticket in 7 days, you can put a reminder. For example, in our project, what we do is that whenever a PR is raised, the ticket is moved from in progress to in review, so that the reviewers know that they have to review the PR. And once, so if the PR is rejected, the ticket is moved back to in progress. But if the PR is approved, the ticket is automatically moved to dev testing, so that developer can test and then move it to ready for testing. So there are a ton of automations that you can do like that. For example, if a PR is raised, you can set and post a message over there whenever someone raises a PR. So stuff like that. Then you can use to alert when milestone or deadlines are close. And furthermore, if there's something that's more advanced, then you can use Jira APIs to and let the developers build their custom connections as well. Coming to the best practices, honestly, when customizing Jira, it's easy to get carried away, trust me. And keeping things as simple as possible at the start is really helpful. And document your steps so others know how things work. So it's really important that you document each and everything. And next, train and teams. Don't just assume that they'll just get it. It's very important that you train everyone in your organization, the teams you work, your colleagues, your peers, everyone, and review every to see if things are still working with you, or they still, or something is needed to be updated, to be changed. And most importantly, make sure Jira matches your actual work, like sprint schedules or planning, releases, as Naima mentioned as well. So make sure everything matches your actual work in Jira. Next, something common pitfalls to avoid too many issue types, as I mentioned earlier. Create ones that you need. Don't make it too complicated. Trust me, it gets confusing if you don't have a hang around Jira admin stuff. And don't ignore the permission schemes that I just mentioned. This can lead to security and access problems. If there's some sensitive data that you don't want to make it visible to everyone, make sure that you have the right things set up to start. And always keep so back versions and releases, or you lose visibility over what's changed. So make sure all your tickets are tagged with release versions, and try not to skip any version tracking or release tagging. Trust me, it won't help you in longer run. It might assist you in like shorter run, but it won't help you in the long way. So, and also don't build a Jira process that no one actually uses. Keep it real, keep it useful, with the team, with management, and then decide what how. Some final thoughts. Jira can be a huge app when you set it up correctly, but if it will hurt more than it will help. And so that's why I make sure you do it as per your need and don't get carried away in customizing each and everything. Start small, build what you need, and then go from there. Just like I did, I started with one project, company managed project, and then I got the responsibility to take up all the projects or take up the Jira admin role at 31 Green. So they are part of the process. As I mentioned earlier, when I took up this project, it was a team managed project, and we migrated that to a company managed project as early as possible, so that everyone gets comfortable with company managed project. Everyone knows that what they have to do with the new project, and everyone's involved in the process as well. And be ready to adjust the things as your team or company evolves. You just keep improving. You never stop there at anything. So yeah, that's all from my side. If there are any questions, please go ahead.
So, guys, if you have any questions with Heather, please write in the chat.
Let me see. I just turned on my meeting chat, so it will take me a while to look into the comments. Just bear with me. So Naveed Ramzan says, does enforcing strict Jira workflows enhance clarity at the cost of stifling human creativity and flexibility? It's a tricky question, but I would agree that enforcing, sometimes you have to enforce certain things to get the best out of the team. So I wouldn't mind sacrificing creativity or flexibility or enforcing certain things if they give you clarity or they improve your processes. So that, I hope that answers your question. Asad says, us through, now we know why we need Jira. Why do you, when do you know your company needs Jira? When you stop missing deadlines, when your management is is holding a sword on your neck, that's the point where you know that you need Jira to, get things sorted. Otherwise, if you're managing, I know Naima and Aswan covered this as well. Like if you have several tools that you are using to manage your project, for example, you have Excel sheets, you have Figma, you have some coding platform as well. So it's very difficult to track or keep a track on things on separate tools. So it's really important to have a single point of contact for all the requirements for the entire project. Um, Ali is asking, can we link to issues? Definitely, you can link as many issues you want with epics, with user stories. So you can link bugs to the task that the bugs were created from. Yeah, chaos is the real indicator. Trust me. Naima and Aswan would agree. But you don't want to, wait till the chaos emerges, turn to Jira before Jira turns to you. So I think I answered all of the questions. So thank you guys. Over to you, Sam.
Thank you so much, Heather, for this purposeful session and walking through us with the real-time scenarios as well. Now I would like to give the stage to Mr. Virpal Singh, who's our one of the chief guests over there because he is joined from Sweden. And thank you so much, Virpal Saab, for joining us. Over to you.
Thank you very much for having me, and it's an honor to present. And thank you for that very enlightening presentation, Heather. It was really good to hear your experience um, in implementing Jira in your organization. Just want to have a quick look if you guys can see my screen as well.
No, it's not visible.
Black.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we
visible
can
now.
see that.
Is the screen sharing working?
Yes, it's visible.
Perfect. Okay. I'm actually going to talk more about our implementation more than the implementation of Jira itself, and more about what the consequence and what it has allowed us to do, and share a little bit about the impact that it has had. Um, the most important thing that drove what we're doing is the recognition how many people end up in a very troublesome situation. And I'm talking specifically about a 9-year-old. A 9-year-old girl who is there at the delivery of her mother's next. So a sibling. This should be this girl's happiest day in her life. But the doctor comes to her and tells her, we need you to convey a message to your mother. She's been bleeding a lot. Inform her that she might not survive. आपने ये चीज़ अपनी अम्मी को बताना है. And that situation that a child is sometimes put through with the communication is a situation which we wanted to resolve, where it was really important for us that every voice could be heard. And it's a part of that mission that Digital Talk was founded, to do instant matching of individuals who don't speak the local language with a human interpreter. And today we handle more than 400 cases such as these every year. Working with these organizations, sustainability was obviously one of the most important things in our choice of a solution. And that's also a requirement that our customers have in how we operate. And what we essentially did is went from a very rudimentary work manner where we had all of the tasks in a Google Sheet, trying to maintain the entire team. And it was a mess. And for us, working with Atlassian has meant, or with Jira specifically, has meant that we've been able to distribute the work equally and fairly, but also give our product more love and give more functionality to our users much faster. We've done this digitalization journey, as cheesy as it sounds, in where customers would typically call a translation agency to get that translator or interpretation support, to bring that through an app or through our website. So digitalizing these solutions for us was about doing what is absolutely most common sense. Now we're obviously working on using AI, and we believe that the future is going to be providing language services through AI itself. And it's been a hit. The amount of jobs that we've been providing, we've been matching 99.87%, is a completely new order of magnitude in the industry, which provides 79.85% of the jobs. And this is very common in the gig economy. Everyone's to making a booking for a cab or whatever it might be, but the driver doesn't pop up, cancels for whatever reason. But in our cases, these are patients. Operation surgery table, patient is there, translator doesn't pop up. Or a court hearing, you've got a crime victim, you've got lawyers, you've got witnesses, you've got a judge. A translator or an interpreter not popping up has really severe consequences. And the journey that we're doing is one where we believe that the future will be one where you combine all services together, human-based translations, interpretations, and combining that with AI. We believe that all of that has to be done all in one place. We would not have been able to do this in that efficient manner had we not be leveraging AI in both and Atlassian solutions and working with Jira in an efficient. We have more than 25 people in Pakistan, in India, Indonesia, Philippines, Ukraine, Sweden, all working on the same platform. It would have been completely impossible to do that without these workflows that we've implemented in Jira. And for us, it's about bringing the human solution together with AI. With AI translations, being able to click on a button and within seconds get a human interpreter. That's where we believe the future will be. The future will allow customers to use AI solutions when it's less critical, but as soon as there are critical scenarios, you can call a human within seconds. Thank you once again for inviting me and sharing about and allowing me to share about what Jira has meant for us and in how it's made us more productive and allow us to help thousands of people.
I would like to thanks to all the participants who joins us and make this event successful, I hope, and to the speaker especially, to Naima, Asfan, and Haider, and Mr. Virpal, who have shared their best practices, best use cases, and also the approaches they guys are using. So I want to mention over there we have in this event one of the volunteer Asad Nawaz have been joined us and helped us a lot into this event Again, thank you so much, Asad, for all your contributions and all the messages that you have and the funky questions you have. I would like you to guys please support me on LinkedIn and join the WhatsApp group as well, because we want to grow this community and want to help the people as well. We try to go to the universities and some academia institutes to help the students from the industry leaders, so they can be this would be helpful for them as well. Thank you so much, guys, for all your support. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Hussain, for hosting us and giving us the opportunity.
Likewise, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.